of what had occurred.
And we'll be back in a moment. A very attractively illustrated book account of Maryland as written by Gloria Steinem. She's here in the company of Anthony Summers, who wrote this book titled Goddess, The Secret Life of Marilyn Monroe. This is also includes a postscript.
I think it would have made Norma Jean really feel good to be taken seriously by Gloria Steinem. Thank you.
I just wonder what good it does to bring up all this involvement with the Kennedys. They're gone. I can't see that accomplishes anything at this point.
You want to agree with that?
What's the president?
Sorry, what?
I was commenting on that lady's opinion. What's the president of the United States? Was the president of the United States?
Yes.
That blows my mind. It blows my mind. The president of the United States.
Because he was the president of the United States having an affair, she says, and that blows her mind.
Phil, how old was Marilyn when she died?
Well, to tell us how you feel.
No!
Well, you don't want to do that.
She says it blows her mind. The President of the United States, Franklin Roosevelt's son, wrote a book about him and the affair. Eisenhower had a book written about him and the affair. But the books have been written and read, and all is forgotten. This goes on forever, and I really can't see why.
Isn't it because the Kennedy was Catholic?
I personally don't care about, what happened. They all met their just rewards. Let's deal with something now. Nixon and what's happening now in the White House, not years ago. Reagan.
I was going to say, I think there definitely has to be some foul play, because how many times have people been clinically dead and they keep trying? I mean, here she was considered dead and they just took her back. I mean,
No, but she had tried to commit suicide many times, both purposefully and accidentally, and been back and forth across the line. I mean, I really don't think there's any evidence of foul play.
Yes.
Isn't anybody making a big deal of her in America? In Europe, it's much less.
You what?
In Europe, they don't make such a big deal.
I think they do. The French, for example, and the Japanese are absolutely bonkers about Marilyn Monroe.
yes, I'm wondering if in our zeal to show that she was not as dumb as she was portrayed to be, and I'm certainly willing to accept that, we're not over-exaggerating her intelligence and importance.
Yes.
Fundamentally, I think she was a sex symbol, and that's how she rose to fame.
But was she smart?
I'm no judge of that, really.
She what?
She has to come across as a consummate actress to be able to act as Mata Hari and then discuss the atomic bomb issue.
I think that our values are backwards, because we're scandalized that she had an affair with the President of the United States. And right now we have a president sitting in the United States who has no relationship with his children, didn't see his grandchild for a year of the child's life, and we're not scandalized by that.
Marilyn Monroe, in my opinion, was a very good actress. She was a woman who, not surprisingly, was put into situations that did not always flatter her by sycophantic men. Here's one such occasion. This will make you wince, but and it hardly flatters Marilyn, but let's look back at the time. Here was the most powerful family in the world, and she was summoned to celebrate the birthday of John F. Kennedy, the President of the United States. Roll the film.
politics after having had Happy Birthday sung to me. Such a sweet,
At that very moment, Jacqueline Kennedy was riding a horse in Virginia. She was not in attendance. And we'll be back in a moment. I'm with James Haspiel, a fan and a friend of Marilyn Monroe, who befriended the actress. You must have been a very young man.
16 at the time.
Excuse me, but let me establish that on the occasion of her death, following her death, an envelope was found which was marked children, and inside the envelope were pictures of her stepchildren, Joe's child, and Arthur Miller's children. And a picture of you, which we have here. May we see that? There you are with, so you were a fan who you were actually successful in not only knowing your actress from afar, but you befriended her, and she liked you and treated you as a child, or as a son?
Yeah, there was an odd circumstance in that I never actually introduced myself to Marilyn. She went and found out from other people who.
Yeah. James, I'm sorry that we have so little time, but what is your, what do you think here as you listen?
You know, Phil, and to the people in the audience, I hear all of this stuff all the time.
Well, what stuff?
The Kennedys, the death, all of this business. But what I remember is a woman who, over 8 years of time, consistently went to class every day, was productive, was generally happy. I must say that in 8 years, and I saw her weekly, I never saw her drunk, though I can understand that she certainly had her share of the intake, too. I just don't know this woman they talk about.
You think they're making her sound a little bit strange?
I think they keep rebuilding her and concentrating on totally negative aspects of her, when I think the audience in general loved her as a performer and the joy that she brought to the world.
I just think there'll never be another sex goddess like Marilyn.
Yeah, I read Mr. Summers' book, and I thought it was an eye-opener because it brought out the dealings that went on and with mafia and the president and all. And I think these are things that we should know as to what's going on here.
Yes, I think for the journalist that's when it became a story for me, the realization that the mob and people associated with the mob like Jimmy Hoffa and the Teamsters were watching the Kennedys with a view to bringing pressure on the presidency at that time. That's why it mattered that who was sleeping with who and why and at what time.
Gloria, what is your speculation? Suppose Marilyn had lived. How would she have? Would she be at your Now convention recently? Really, what do you think might have?
Well, by her own testimony, she wanted to be a wonderful character actress, and of course that would have meant living past this perishable image of a sex goddess. Could she have done that? I don't know, but she hoped and dreamed of doing that. She wanted to be taken seriously as an actress, and she cared. She belonged to SANE. She was concerned about the nuclear danger. She was concerned with the civil rights movement. She wanted all people to be brothers, as she put it. She wanted peace in the world. I mean, she was not informed.
She would have been a politically active.
She wanted desperately to be educated. She used to just go into bookstores and, to pick up books and to...
Did you want to... I'm sorry. This audience is disappointed that our time is up. Yes.
I'm just sorry that she wasn't born later, because with the women's movement and everything, she probably would have lasted longer, become a bigger star, and survived.
Yeah. What did I see?
I was wondering how they kept it out of scandal sheets at the time.
How did they keep it out of the press?
It's cretin, but journalists didn't do their jobs, I'm afraid, as far as her death was concerned. Nobody did the work.
Yeah.
There was never an inquest on Marilyn Monroe. There had been an inquest